Hey guys, I am here today to share my April TBR with you, and I've decided to do something different for April. I am going to attempt in the month of April to read one fiction book at a time. Now this is coming off of the video I did recently sharing all the books I was currently reading and kind of the different types of books I have on the go at one time. And as I was thinking about that more, like how I generally always have tons of books on the go, I thought I just want to try to have less books on the go. So I'm going to be trying for generally one fiction, one nonfiction, with the exception that I'm often reading like some poetry, and if I read some short stories, I feel like those are kind of different because a short story and a poem to me are kind of like their own thing. But for the most part, like the books that I'm going to share today, I want to only be reading these one at a time. And this is going to be big for me. I don't know if this is going to make me get into a reading slump. Like if I pick up a book that I'm not sure about, is that going to make me just not want to pick the book up? Or is it going to make me decide to like get through it faster or just DNF it faster? I'm not sure. I'm so curious to see what this does for my reading month for April. So I have a stack of books here, and they're mostly library books. I have a lot of books out from the library. I think my next video is going to be a library haul, and I will share all the books I have. I probably have at least like 35 just out for myself right now. So yeah, let's start with what should we start with? Let's start with the books that I'm going to be reading for the Read Your Bookshelf challenge. So the prompt for April is the one that totally stumped me when I was filming my video on the announcement video for your Read Your Bookshelf challenge, because I picked out a book that did not have my initials in the title, because you're supposed to pick out a book with your initials in the title, and mine was totally missing a letter. So my initials are C-A-D-K. And the one I picked out, I think didn't have the D, but the author's name started with a D, so I think my brain was just like doing that. I don't know. But it just so happens that I have two books from the library that happen to have, I believe, all my initials in the title. So the first one here is A Flicker in the Dark. So let me just see here. C-A-D-K. I'm pretty sure I did that right. I got this one out because I think this was, I don't remember actually. It sounded good when I read it. This was published in 2021. Okay, so I think this was one of the, oh man, I request books and then I forget why I requested them. This is a thriller. And I think maybe it was one of the top thrillers of like the Goodreads choice. It was one of those runner-ups. It says, when Chloe Davis was 12, 6 teenage girls went missing in her small oh my goodness, Louisiana town. Yeah, like sometimes I just wonder, like, can I even read? By the end of the summer, her own father had confessed to the crimes and was put away for life, leaving Chloe and the rest of her family to grapple with the truth and to try to move forward while dealing with the aftermath. Now, 20 years later, Chloe is a psychologist in Baton Rouge and getting ready for her wedding. And then I think, yes, a local teenage girl goes missing, and then another, and there's parallels from her past. And this one sounds really interesting to me because I love psychology, and so this kind of checks a few boxes for me. But I'm not 100% sure I'm going to get very far into this, because when a book is popular, often I don't like it. So this is a possibility for my initials in the title. I'm going to give it a try. But my backup / one that I might read additionally is Agatha Audley, The Secret Key. So let me see here. C-A-D-K. Yes, it has all my initials. So I think this is supposed to be like an Agatha Christie. This is Agatha Audley has been a detective for as long as she can remember. She's just been waiting for her first big case, and nothing gets bigger than saving the city of London from some strange goings on. So yeah, I believe this is like a middle grade mystery, and I think she's kind of like an Agatha Christie character. And the spacing and the font is really large in this, so feels like this one should be an easy read. So I'm going to try to read one or both of these this month to check that prompt, and we'll see what I end up doing. Then I'm also going to be doing an Agatha Christie book again for the month of April, trying to solve one, and I was going to pick a different one, and then I saw that the Buzzwordathon for April is Big and Little, and I think that has to do with words in the title, and I just ordered, it has not come in yet, I think it's called The Big Four by Agatha Christie. I have that coming from Book Outlet, so I thought, why don't I do that? It will check both boxes. I will be able to try to solve the mystery, and then that will also be my buzzword book. It doesn't have the word little in it. I didn't know if you were supposed to have one that had both big and little, or just one of them, but I'm going with one of them. And I feel like I'm kind of losing my voice, so I'm sorry if this sounds really weird. So because I don't have the physical book with me, I don't know anything about it, and I don't really want to. I do know that it's a Poirot book, and that's all I know. So if you are interested in reading my Agatha Christie with me for the month of April, that's the book I'm going to be reading and trying to solve, and then later in the month I'll have my video out sharing how well or not well it has gone. So far my track record is not very great, but my enjoyment level has been high, so that's all that matters. One of the books I'm very excited about for April is The Souls of Lost Lake by Jamie Jo Wright. That one is coming out on April 5th, and it's one of the few books that I've pre-ordered, and so I am hoping to read it. The only thing is, pre-orders, I don't know if this is a Canadian thing, if I just have bad luck or what, but often they don't get sent out. It's happened to me a couple times where I've pre-ordered a book and then they're out of stock, and like a month later it still hasn't arrived, and then a couple times in the past few years I've just like canceled books I've pre-ordered because I could get it from the library faster, and it's frustrating. But I'm really hoping that one comes at a decent time, and I plan on reading that. So it's Jamie Jo Wright. It's Christian historical fiction suspense kind of book, dual timeline. I love all of her books. Okay, well there was like one that I didn't love, but all the other ones I love, and I'm excited about this one, and she has another one coming out in the fall that I will hopefully pre-order as well. So I don't remember the plot for that. I just shared about it in my anticipated releases, and I don't remember the plot, but that's okay because I kind of like going into a book blind. Like I read the back or a part of the synopsis before I requested them from the library, before I order them, and then by the time they get to me I forget. That's okay. Okay, and then speaking of pre-orders, this is actually one that I pre-ordered back in November, and I haven't read it yet, and that is Psytonic. We were kind of talking about this book a little bit in my Patreon book club just yesterday, that was, and yeah, I kind of feel bad that I pre-ordered this and haven't read it. I did read the first few pages, and I just kind of wasn't in the science fiction mood at the time. I've heard not so great things about Psytonic, so this is a YA science fiction series. This is book 3. I loved book 1, enjoyed book 2. I've heard not so great things, but maybe if I go into it with like low expectations, I'll enjoy it. The first book is, our main character is the daughter of a man who was a pilot for their planet, trying to like, the pilots keep them safe from kind of like alien invaders, and he died as a what's the word that I'm looking for? Like he betrayed them, and so she's always had this hanging over her head that she's the daughter of a deserter. That's the right word. And so she wants to prove everybody wrong. And I really enjoyed book 1, and definitely want to continue the series. There's going to be 4 books in the series, so I would like to read this one finally this month. Yeah, and then I think the rest are just library books. So my next one here is Rescue by Jennifer A. Nielsen. She is, I think, my favorite middle grade historical fiction writer. And this one says, when the only way to escape Nazi-occupied France is to crack the code and break through enemy lines, ... Yeah, so I want to try this one. I've really loved her A Night Divided and Words on Fire, and I want to read this one, and then she has another one also that I haven't read. But yeah, my daughter started this one on audio and said the audio was not good, so physical reading it is. I actually don't think I'm going to be doing any audiobooks in the month of April for various reasons. I feel like I kind of just want a break from it, so that will work well. Then I can physically read that book. Then this one is a nonfiction. This is Woven by Angie Smith. This subtitle is Understanding the Bible as One Seamless Story. And I actually read this book a year ago. But it was at, I think I got it through NetGalley. And it was at a time when we had just got our little foster daughter. And I read it while I was like giving her bottles in the night. And I loved it. But I don't know if I trust myself because I was so sleep deprived when I was reading it. So I want to read it because I feel like this is one that I want to reread it because I feel like it's one that I would really highly recommend to people. It from what I remember, tells the story of the entire Bible, and it tells it with a sense of humor that I really like. She points out some, like, you know, some things in the Bible that when you read it from a young age or have heard about it from a young age, you kind of just like skim over some things, but sometimes she points out things that are like, wait a minute, like this is strange, and highlights things that I feel like we can kind of get immune to when we've read it so many times. Yeah, so she does a really good job from what I remember, but I want to reread. Okay, and I look at my hair is just keeps going in my face. It's driving me nuts. Then I saw this one on Goodreads. Tia, I believe, had read it, and I don't remember what she rated it, but actually it was book 2, which I still have on my shelf here. I'm gonna grab that one. So I saw that she had read book 1 and book 2, but it was the cover of book 2 that really got me interested because I just think that's adorable. So it's a manga series and it's called Spy Family. Is it Spy Times Families? I don't know what that X is, but the premise is hilarious. It's about this spy who has to go undercover, but this time his assignment is to get married and have a kid, and he has his work cut out for him, procuring both a wife and a child for his mission to infiltrate an elite private school. What he doesn't know is that the wife he's chosen is an assassin, and the child he's adopted is a telepath. And that sounds kind of hilarious. So yeah, I'm gonna try book 1, but I also got book 2 because that cover was just adorable. And the illustrations inside are pretty cool. I just wish they were colored. But this is pretty funny. I wonder what kind of family a spy, an assassin, and a telepath would be. That'd be an interesting family, I think. Then this one, I think it was Liv that keeps saying that I have to read this one. And it is The Maid. This one just came out. It is I can't remember if it's a mystery or what it is categorized as. Okay, so it's about a maid who finds an infamous tycoon very dead in his hotel room bed. When the police arrive on the scene, Molly's unusual demeanor makes her the object of suspicion. Caught in a web of deception, she struggles to clear her name with the help of some new friends. Together they search for clues to what really happened to Mr. Black, but will they be able to find the real killer before it's too late? A clue-like locked room mystery. Aha, there we go. Yes, the maid explores what it means to be the same as everyone else and yet entirely different, and reveals that all mysteries can be solved through connection to the human heart. That does sound interesting. I love locked room mysteries, so yeah, that will be fun. Okay, I have 3 more books left. This one I heard about somewhere, but I can't remember where, so that's unfortunate. But it is called One. It is 2 lives, 2 sisters, 1 choice. This is a YA free verse novel about conjoined twins. It's really bothering me that I can't remember. Oh, actually, I believe my daughter and I watch Ruby Granger. So she's like this English university student, which is funny because like I'm in my 30s. My daughter's 11. But I can see my daughter being a lot like her. And I believe that she just got this out from the library. So they're conjoined twins, joined at the waist. They share everything. They would never imagine being apart. For them, that would be the real tragedy. But Grace has a secret and she doesn't want to admit it. So, I don't know. The whole conjoined twins thing is very interesting to me though. So, I'm gonna give this one a try. This one is exciting and scary at the same time. This is Dawn Shard by Sanderson. Brandon Sanderson. I feel like he doesn't even need a first name. He's just Sanderson. So this is the, what are these? Like, they're like little novellas in between his big books. So Dawn Shard is the one that comes between Oathbringer and Rhythm of War. So I just finished Oathbringer in February. Then I gotta read this. And that means that soon coming onto my TBR is going to be Rhythm of War. And I don't know who this follows. Oh, okay. I think her name is Risen. She's a ship owner. We kind of met her, I think we met her in Oathbringer. So we'll see. It's just like a side character. And they're interesting stories. I liked Edge Dancer because then we got to follow Lift, and she's an interesting character as well. And the last book. This one was recommended in my Patreon book club the other day, and it just so happens it was on my shelf already. This is A History of Wild Places. All I remember is that it kind of is cultish, so that kind of got me interested, and it has been recommended in the comments before. So it says, Travis Wren has an unusual talent for locating missing people. Hired by families as a last resort, he requires only a single object to find the person who has vanished. When he takes on the case of Maggie St. James, a well-known author of dark, macabre children's books, he's led to a place many believed only a legend. Okay, I don't want to read anymore. So, yes, I hear that it's very cult vibey and a little bit suspenseful, but not a scary suspenseful, I think. So, I'm interested. Okay, so that is my stack of books for April, and I'm going to be trying to read one at a time. We'll see how that goes. I'm not sure. I feel like it could just go really well or really not, but I guess we'll find out in about a month. So let me know what are like the top few books that you have on your stack for April, and if you guys are joining in on the Read Your Bookshelf challenge, I would love to hear what books you have chosen for the one with initials in your title, your initials in the title. Was it really hard to find one, or do you have easy initials? Pretty much the rest of my family has like impossible to find initials, so mine was a little easier than some of theirs. So I feel good for that, but a K is a hard letter, and I know I've had some comments from people that they also have really hard letters, so that's unfortunate, but hopefully you're having fun with it. Thanks so much for being here, guys.